Welcome to Wordplay, the podcast where metaphors spiral, sayings unravel, and two pals try and make sense of it all. I'm George.
And I'm Rach, and each week we pick a well-known saying, such as when pigs fly, or the cat's out the bag.
And then we run absolutely wild with it.
Sometimes it's deep, sometimes it's chaos, usually both. This is Wordplay. Let's get into it. Ole, 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 feeling
Yes.
hot.
Okay. I mean, when is it not hot in your office, to be fair?
That's true. Also, that was a surprising amount of energy from me as somebody that's sort of dragging themselves through the day so far.
Really?
Yeah,
Me too.
it's going to be one of those.
Strap in for the most dull and long-winded conversation of your life. Two people
No, you know what?
not awake.
Not awake and not here. But I also know, and I know this because I should know this because it's fact, but also because Claude tells me this constantly. Because I've been doing that little experiment with Claude AI where I narrate my day and then it like looks for patterns.
Yeah.
I always feel energized and lovely after social contact.
Yeah, but the resistance to actually do it is so strong.
It's one of the biggest fuck yous, isn't it, of life, really?
Yeah, I think so. It's really quite painful.
Mm-hmm. What have you got in your mug? I can hear a spoon.
A little. Should I do the tapping thing? Wait. There we go. We are now.
I'm imagining a
ASMR.
tiny horse wearing tiny clogs.
Wearing tiny clogs?
Yeah.
That sounds magical.
Can't wear big ones, can it?
What? What? Does that not depend on the size of the horse?
Yeah. But because I specified tiny horse,
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
It would be ridiculous, wouldn't it, if it was wearing large?
Ridiculous. That would be like a clown show. I have my little lemon mug. Wait, I'm gonna. Oh gosh,
this is lovely.
I know. I got it from shout out Manchester Craft and Design or Design and Craft. Craft and Design Centre. Yeah, no, Design and Craft Centre. I don't know which way round that goes, but shout out them because I always go in and I always have lovely conversations with the makers there. And this is a little handmade mug. It's very small. But it's perfect for a coffee, and it's signed underneath, and the color of the glaze was, I believe, called lemon sherbet.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good name. Also, it blends quite well or complements your wall, the back wall.
Oh,
which
yeah,
I know
of course.
Listeners cannot. Actually, listeners can watch because the video is also on Spotify.
Yeah.
Is it a small enough cup to be the appropriate size for a tiny horse and tiny clogs, though? That's my question. But
absolutely. I have a tiny horse that's maybe. Wait, I'm not very good at. Okay, I'm notoriously bad at measuring distance. I was in a car crash once, and they told me how far. Why did you do that face? Like you didn't know that already.
I did know that, but I was just remembering it.
Oh.
I wasn't even around at that time. I was just remembering that you told me that that's what happened. Anyway, continue.
And for like insurance purposes, they immediately started asking us questions like, how far ahead was the van that pulled out in front of you? Before what was the distance as he pulled out between you and him? And I said something crazy like 400 meters, which wasn't the truth. Also, why ask people in that condition when they're so shocked about such things such as distances?
Yeah. I actually have an interest, we're going straight in with the stories. I had an interesting one with this where not related to distance, but related to time, which I feel like is the same confusing, like how much is that? Especially if you've been in a confusing, stressful event. Without giving you the whole story, me and my friend a man once indecently exposed himself to us in a park. Although when we first saw him, it wasn't at us, it was just himself. And we went to the police station to give a statement, and she said, when you first saw him on the bench, like, how long were you looking at him? Now, I remembered, because I did a module in A-level psychology about eyewitness testimony, that people like grotesquely, that is not the word.
Grotesquely what? Depends what
Is
he's
it
coming up with
like
next.
people overestimate
Yeah, you
how
can use
long? Is
grotesquely.
that word?
Yeah.
It felt quite violent when I said it.
I mean, it's a violent situation. What can I say?
That people tend to grossly overestimate
Okay.
how long. So I said to her, I think it was like 3 seconds, and she was like impressed. She was like, that it's funny that you've said that, because most people think it's like a minute, and if you actually think about how long a minute is, that's a really long time. Did you just like glance? And I was like, yeah, it was literally a glance, and then I looked away, and then we walked away, and she was like, cool, okay, like 3 seconds. But like, because they must have to be making a judgment as to whether you're being accurate or not, right?
Yeah, and how come it doesn't go the other way if they're assuming that everyone um overestimates and you say 3 seconds? Does she reduce it to one? Or does she say this person has an accurate view of the world?
Well, when she seemed impressed, I said, I did do a module and I would as testimony.
Oh, well, now she's got to take that into consideration too.
But you know what is wild about this is I said to the police, this doesn't make any sense, but I swear he was wearing like neon pink boxers, and I can't tell you that that's what I saw, but I saw this like flash of pink, and I'm telling you that because that's all I don't know. But then my friend, and obviously she gave a different statement, and we couldn't like corroborate between each other. We didn't need to. She was like, I didn't see that at all.
Wow.
So no, who knows? Who knows?
Well,
Anyway,
who knows? To close some loops, there is a horse approximately 100 meters away, and in my in my cup, there is coffee with some honey in it.
Great. And we have been having this conversation for 3 seconds.
3 seconds, which may be one, or it may be a minute. Who knows?
Who knows? Shall we pod?
Let's pod.
Not that we aren't already.
Let's pod. Usually I have a really good segue, but I haven't slept enough recently to be able to to segue us.
My only segue is that since we decided to do this, I'm now again singing "Are you out of the woods yet? Are you out of the woods yet?" But it's not out of the woods, but it's adjacent to the woods.
I mean, it is adjacent to the woods because you need to be looking at them.
Yeah, it's wood related.
I was going to say, but you can look at woods when you're in woods. By the way, we are using wood and woods in the Old English term meaning forest.
Yeah. I already had some thoughts about this.
Did you? Go on.
Yeah.
Go off, Queen.
Okay.
Tell me.
So our saying for today is can't see the woods for the trees.
The moment where you're like, do I remember what it is?
Do I say it correctly? Can't see the wood for the trees. And how I would interpret this, and I hear this quite a lot from people, actually in coaching context, is like I can't see what's right in front of me, or I can't make sense of a situation because I'm like too in it. Or I'm too stuck in the details to be able to like make a decision, and I can't just like step back and see what's going on. But then I was confused because I was like, but wood, as in like a wooden table or wood that you get from trees, is like on the tree. The wood is not the bigger picture. And then I was like, hang on, are we talking about forests?
And then you were like, let me just Google this so that I'm not completely okay.
Because I think my instinct was to be like, I can't see the wood as in the wood, a piece of wood, because of the trees.
Separate from the tree.
Yeah.
Because
which
they
then
are intertwined.
Intertwingled. Oh, that's a beautiful word. Yeah. But then that confuses the metaphor.
I mean, I feel like that's a separate thing again, you know? I feel like that's...
In what way?
Well, because I think that is quite nice, actually, not being able to separate the wood from the tree. Eh?
Yeah.
That's quite a metaphor because it's talking about the not being able to separate the potential of something from what it is on the surface.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I do like that. Okay, let's keep it.
Sorry, we're not even 10 minutes in and we've already created a whole new metaphor that is not...
Wait, you have done this. You have done this.
I would never be able to do any of this. Oh my God.
The listeners won't hear that, but the server must have just dropped out because the recording just stopped spontaneously and then came back in again.
And it gave us that robotic lady who
Ricardo.
I'm so scared of, honestly.
I didn't realize, segue, that when I once had to like do the background tech for an online event that was like really important, and I was very stressed about like making sure it was all okay. And my server kept dropping out, so I kept leaving the room and coming back in. And so every time I came back in, the woman was like, recording in progress. So I thought that everybody kept hearing recording in progress, record it. I didn't realize that you only hear that as the person entering the room.
So were you concerned that you were creating some kind of disturbance by triggering? Okay.
Like 7 times, and then afterwards I said to somebody, oh my God, I'm so sorry, was that okay? And they literally was like, nobody know what you're talking about. Zero issue. Anyway, okay, so there's already a sort of another metaphor forming here. Let's put that to the side for a minute.
Yeah, let's put that to the side indefinitely, because that's not even a real one. We could chat for ages if we were going to start making up metaphors, but
yeah,
can't see the wood for the trees. The wood is in fact a forest.
Yeah, so can't see. I suppose the American version would probably can't see the forest for the trees, maybe. Or
I had a note on that somewhere.
did you?
Yeah, I did. I don't know where it is.
I'm loving this energy we're coming in with today, you know. Just sometimes that's just the way it is. Tell me about your feelings and thoughts of this phrase.
Okay, but I did just find the American thing, so I'm just going to quickly briefly mention that, and then I'm going to move on. So they say woods and we say wood.
Oh, who says forest?
Well, I guess of the British nowadays, I think it's like a new thing.
Because I don't think we covered this in Out of the Woods, did we? Is there a technical definition between forest and wood? Because I would just think that a forest is like a wood but on a bigger scale. Like Britain doesn't have forests because it's too small. Just has nice wood. Although the Lake District maybe.
Okay, the main difference between, and this is me Googling, not me just having the magical information, between forest and woods is the size and tree density.
I can believe it.
Forests are typically larger and denser with a thicker canopy, while woods are smaller and more open with a more sparse canopy that allow more light to reach the ground. So a forest is darker and more potential to get lost.
Well, and in this metaphor, I would think that not seeing the forest for the trees would be more like if you're particularly in it, like you're like, I literally because it's more densely packed, so you're like, I can't see a thing. Whereas woods, there's a bit of breathing room.
Oh, love that. Okay, so now my thoughts on it are, I feel like it's very, very different from Are We Out of the Woods Yet? Are We Out of the Woods Yet? Are We Out of the Woods Yet? In that it's like a completely different placement, because it feels way more objective. It feels like you're standing in front of a situation that you're trying to understand. And it's overwhelming because there are so many different parts that are all individual, but all look like fairly repetitive. Like, unless you start to hone in on one, you won't be able to understand the picture as a whole, which is very relevant to woods actually, because ecosystems, baby.
Wait, but hang on, you're saying that in order to understand the whole you need to hone in on to understand the whole, as in the wood, you need to hone in on the trees.
Yes, you need to understand them at an individual level, otherwise you're never going to have a good understanding of the whole.
See, this is interesting because I took the opposite, which is it's saying like, because you're spending so much time looking at individual trees, you can't see that you're in a wood, and so you need to step back and look at the whole in order to understand it before you look at the detail, like the small.
This is where Sherlock Holmes comes into it.
Sherlock, what's he up to?
Actually, I don't know. I haven't heard about him for a while, although I have heard about Benedict Cumberbatch, but that's another story.
Oh.
I brought that up because he can do both simultaneously. You know, he goes into his mind palace
Mm-hmm.
and he can see the big picture and he can see the details, and he doesn't miss out on either because he's constantly making himself aware of both.
Interesting.
And that's why he's so good at solving problems and mysteries and crimes. What does Sherlock do again? He's a detective.
Yeah, crimes.
Mischief.
So really you need both.
Well, you don't need both. I think you can live perfectly a satisfactory life only having one. However, if you can see both, I feel like maybe that puts you at an advantage.
See, I don't know if you can live a satisfactory life. Well, it depends how we're defining satisfactory. But as in, like, I'm trying to think of the application of it, because I think you're right. It's often there's like an intention around solving a problem or trying to figure something out, and like I feel like, or the way that I would often use it or interpret it is going, okay, I can't see the wood for the trees. I'm so fixated. So for example, if you're trying to make a decision, say like a life decision or a career decision, you can't see the wood for the trees because you're looking at all of these different jobs, or you're trying to figure out like, well, this person does this job, or what do I like? And there's all of these like pieces of information and detail.
Yeah.
I'd be going, why don't we take a step back and look at the wood, which is just like almost take yourself out of the detail, go back to the core of like what is important to you, what do you care about in life, almost like valuesy type stuff, before you then go in and look at the individual detail. But I don't know if you can have, well, you can have one without the other, but I don't know if that sounds stressful to me.
Oh, not to make this about work.
Please do,
But
because it's so many of our lives.
Well, yeah. And I listening to you talk realized just now how this is what I do every single day. This is literally marketing strategy. This is literally being strategic, because I was having a conversation with someone I'm working with right now, who is an absolute babe. And we were talking about like the process of creating strategy, and I made kind of a ham-fisted comparison to the design process. It is like design thinking, which is something that was like a key element that we got taught at art school. It basically, like, the reason to be at art school is to learn how to think. Nothing to do with any of the other things, although I found a way to make it more technical, because obviously I ended up doing the most I nearly said skill oriented. That's the wrong phrase. That is the wrong phrase. The most like historical craft, like a hand down knowledge kind of thing, which was weaving. But design thinking, so the concept is you think wide and then you narrow down, and then you think wide and then you narrow down, and then you think wide, and then you keep doing that and doing that over and over and over and over again. And eventually you will have a greater understanding of everything that you're trying to make, achieve, understand, whatever. And you should have a pretty kick-ass, unique, creative, interesting thing at the end.
Yes.
Yes. But you can't get there unless you do the out, in, which is like the wide view coming into focus, the woods coming into the tree.
You've unlocked my passion about this that I don't think I quite realized was there. Or I have, but I didn't realize it was like in this specific context. Is this right? And I this might be the wrong terminology, but is it like divergent thinking and convergent thinking, right? So like I used to teach, right? Like I do like learning facilitation, like I'm big on learning models, how people learn.
Yeah.
And like like I'm just thinking of a specific example that I've had of a bit of a battle of some working with someone where like, you know, when you're like, I know the best way to do this, and I know that if we go straight into the detail, it's not going to work because that's not how people learn. Like you got to start wide and then you've got to let them converge and like go into the detail, because what happens if you take people straight into the detail and give them like too much restriction and then ask them to like diverge out into the woods, if you will, it's so much harder because they've already like pinpointed in on something. And this is just an example of like within a 1 or 2 hour learning session, but like I feel very strongly about this, which is you do need to have, you're right, you do need to have out and then in, and you need to let people have out before you can expect them to go in.
Right, which brings us back to our metaphor pretty beautifully, if I may say, because when you're using can't see the wood for the trees, it's usually because you're too close. You've started too close and you haven't seen the bigger picture.
Yes, exactly.
So you're stuck.
And I feel extra passionate about this with neurodivergent people who tend to need to see the big picture to be able to see the details.
Yeah.
Or tend to naturally diverge and expand their thinking, but are constantly being told to like narrow it down, which I don't disagree with, but let them expand before you force them to narrow down.
Bro, I just had an intense flashback.
Go on. Go on.
Let me set the scene for you. 14 years old. I was in year 9 for our English listeners, that makes sense. I was really, really excited for like all of the careers stuff that people were starting to talk about, because I was like, oh yeah, planning, like dreaming about the rest of your life and like what's possible. This is so cool. I could be anything that I want to be. Yes, give me everything all at once. Yes, please. And everyone has a meeting with the careers advisor. So everyone's coming out of their meetings. They've got like this little sheet where they've got like all this information about what, you know, what skills they have, and that she's been talking people through what is possible for them, and like the different careers they could take and what they would need to do to get there. And I was like, oh, this is so exciting. I love a plan. I love a strategy, obviously. And I love being able to see something through from beginning to end, completionist at my core. And just like the potential of a life doing cool stuff and, you know, exploring what the world has to offer. Amazing. So I was really excited. I was seeing all these people come out. They all had different things. I go in to the library, which is where it was being hosted in this little meeting corner that they had. Gosh, I haven't thought about that library in years. That's wild. Wow. Okay, sorry. I'm having such massive hits of nostalgia right now. And I go in and I sit down on this ridiculously tiny chair. I don't know how she sat there all day, to be honest, because it was very uncomfortable. You know those low plastic ones with the thick legs?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, primary colors. I don't know. I'm not really sure even why they were there. It was a secondary school. There was no one below the age of 11. Anyway, and she starts talking to me and asking me questions, and I would say I was probably on the vaguer side, yeah, because I like everything. I want to experience everything, and so I'm just passionate about life. And I didn't yet understand the importance or even how to unpick the elements of who I am and what I enjoy that would have made it really a lot easier to kind of focus, but from a completely different angle. And she was coming at the angle of, what skills do you have? What subjects do you like? then let me open this massive book of careers and like list some things that match up. And honestly, I came out of that meeting so disappointed. It was like, I just felt, well,
dulling your spark.
I know I'm not gonna amount to anything, because if I don't have a plan, if I can't see what's going on here, like within me and in regard to the world, then what's gonna happen? I don't know.
And it's mad, isn't it? Because essentially what she's kind of done, like, actually, with the metaphor, what you were probably doing is like wandering around the wood, like having a lovely time, just like soaking it all in. And then she's put you in front of a tree and gone like, let's look at this tree, and this tree will now dictate the plan that we make, and it has to, it has to like grow in this way or work in this way. And then you end up thinking like you're just like face against the tree, thinking that's the whole wood, like, oh, I guess this is what this is now.
Yeah, which makes me want to cry, as somebody that like wants to see all the trees. I want to see all the trees. I want to go around. I want to give them a little bit of a stroke. I want to do some painting. Then I want to do some climbing. I don't know, like maybe find one that has a like a little gap at the bottom so I can make a little campfire or something. Not campfire. Do not make a fire in the woods. I mean, like a little camp, full stop, a little bed.
Yeah.
And bless her, like she had a job to do,
Yeah.
And I think that is part of the problem, because for some people that works, and that kind of focus makes sense.
Well, does it though? Well, as in, I don't know, because I was about to say the same thing, right? Which is, some people thrive off, well, not that you don't thrive off a plan or I don't thrive off a plan, but like, okay, maybe that approach works for someone. But to what you just said about the design thinking, and I was saying about the learning design, I think all humans need to go wide before they go narrow. Like, I just think that's how that works best.
Yeah, and I think, well, definitely in our education system, but probably in our culture more widely, and in many other cultures as well, we like have to choose very quickly.
True.
We're put in a position where it's like, okay, now choose what you want to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And there isn't,
and I guess like, I was just gonna say, like, a careers advisor at school has a job, and the job is, I'll help you figure out what this plan is. Like, they're not kind of like, oh, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Because
they can't do that, because they want some level of success and instant reward for the school, and to be able to put on that their kids got this and this and this because they want to go and become a lawyer or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it comes back to the essence of coddywampling, isn't it? Which is, people are uncomfortable with the idea that you can still have direction without knowing where you're going.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay.
Yeah. And I think I don't usually have regrets. There are like maybe a couple as I'm getting older that I think about, but I do think I do spend a lot of time on what ifs, which a lot of people say isn't productive, but I think it just goes back to like looking at the word,
Ooh, interesting. Okay, say more.
Well, I just think that, not to be too Community, the TV show, minded about this, but part of like creativity, I think, is what ifs. And so when we're thinking about the creative thinking and looking at like the whole picture, the divergence, like you say, I think thinking about multiple timelines can be a useful creative exercise. in seeing a bigger picture, because thinking about that, like thinking about the possibility of a different reality, you can't do that if you're staring at one tree.
Yeah.
It forces you out of that.
I like this because I've only really thought of what ifs as like like, oh, but what if that, or like a regretful what if. But actually what you're saying is what if is a generator of possibilities. And if you want to make a change in your life or do something, like you can't do that if you don't see possibilities.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And you have to go out of your way to think about these things, because you don't just accidentally dream up a different reality.
Yeah. Oh my God, I want to just go and like write like a what if reality of my life. Wait, what?
Okay, but can I before the energy takes you away, I can just see you like throwing your AirPods down on the desk and running out. But before you do that, can I give you some history?
Oh yes, please do.
Because I found something and I thought it was really, really interesting. You know the phrase Rome wasn't built in a day?
Mm-hmm.
That was written by the same guy that did Can't See the Wood for the Trees.
Who was this person? Because I never really think of them as people who actually make it like writing them. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, well, his name is, I'm assuming his gender there, John Hayward. In 1546 is the earliest use in his collection of proverbs. I think in 1546, if your name's John, I can safely assume to use he, him.
So wait, John's just sitting about, I'm going to write some proverbs?
Sitting about?
What's John up to? How did this come to be? Were they both created at the same time?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Was it built in a day?
But I can look it up for sure.
I'm just wondering if we'll ever have any modern day philosophers, because I just don't like, my actual thought was like, oh my God, if we like make up a proverb or a saying in this pod, like will it persist
modern
in
day?
500 years?
What do you mean? Oh my gosh.
What?
So I mean, I'm a podcast listener, and my favorite podcasts are philosophy based podcasts.
Yes. What I mean though is there anything we haven't, as in, is there anything we haven't yet mused on that will be totally new? Anything that hasn't already been said, anything that hasn't already been created, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
I'll take it, because that's my preferred answer.
Yes. And I'll tell you for why.
Please do.
Our world dynamics are constantly changing.
True.
Our culture is constantly evolving. Like nothing, you can't step in the same river twice.
Oh,
it's on the list, peeps. It's on the list.
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
What? It's one of my favorites. Are you kidding?
I'll save it for that episode, but that currently makes no sense to me. Oh no, wait, I get it now. Okay, but still, we'll just save that for the other pod for another time.
Wow.
I've never heard it.
Okay. How has this never come up in our friendship?
Should we do that one for next week? We can record it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Anyway. What were you saying?
That's thrown me off so much that we have a podcast about metaphors and you didn't even know my favorite metaphor.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that's the end of our friendship.
Pod over.
Gosh, where was I? Okay, yes. So our world is constantly changing, and we constantly need new people to be able to think deeply about how those shifts change the way that we are as human beings in comparison to the inherent nature of our biology.
Beautiful. Okay. I like it. It's true. Really, I think my question is, how do I make it so that in 500 years somebody is sitting on well, I don't know, because it'll look very differently from now, and they credit me to a saying. That's basically what I want to be, the
You want
modern
the
day
legacy.
philosopher. I want the legacy.
We can follow the Alain de Botton model if you want.
Yeah.
Your school of life.
What's that model?
You know?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
He just
the whole. That's true.
Was a philosopher, is a philosopher, continues to be a philosopher, and is alive right now. So good example for you to follow.
Okay, I know what I'm going to do after this. I'm going to make some notes about my what if I had done that joint philosophy psychology degree that I wanted to do but then didn't do.
I know, which I would have totally done with you, by the way.
Oh, man.
Genuinely, this is one of my that's amongst other things is one of my biggest what ifs, because my obsession with psychology and philosophy and their intersection is, it knows no bounds. It works its way into my poetry, it works its way into my artwork, my painting, my weaving, my shower thoughts. That it never leaves me alone. My YouTube watch history.
Oh man. Well, okay.
So
wait, so where are we with this metaphor?
So you're going.
Were you saying some history?
We were talking about ifs. What ifs?
What ifs? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a philosopher with a legacy. New life goal. But you were actually giving us history of this particular metaphor before I sidetracked it with my ambitions.
John Hayward. John Hayward. Who is he? Who is this guy? Proverbs 1500s. Bio? How do you... Oh, maybe I'll just go to Wikipedia. There we go. Okay, English writer known for his plays, poems, and collection of proverbs. Although he's best known as a playwright. He was an active musician and composer, though no musical works survive. A devout Catholic, nevertheless served as a royal servant to both Catholic and Protestant regimes of Henry VIII, Edward VI, Mary I, and Elizabeth I. Wow, man stuck around.
Yeah, he's got some. No, can't think of the word. Do we know?
Wait, hang on. What word were you going for?
Name drops, I think.
Wow.
I think that's what I was going for.
Okay.
Do we know why this proverb came to be? How it came to be?
Yeah, because how do you just create a list of proverbs? Was it that he wrote down what he was hearing on the street?
Yeah, good question, right? Or was he in a wood and he thought, I can't see.
Hold on a second. We have a penny for your thought is also on this list.
Whoa.
So we've already oh my God. I mean, this was a long time ago that we recorded that episode, but
should this podcast just be called What John Says?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly. Wait, I think there's out of sight, out of mind is on this list.
Oh, we need to discuss that. That is one.
This is cute. Love me, love my dog. Yeah. I mean,
bit weak, that one, isn't it? No?
2 heads are better than 1.
Wow, that one's so
better late than never.
I'm finding a treasure trove here, John.
And I think, isn't this one that Mr. Rachel told us about the other day? I mean, this is in Old English, so I feel like it might have adapted a little bit, but no man ought to look a given horse in the mouth. That was Mr. Rachel, right?
Yeah, don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
There we go. And by the way, pretty much all of these were from the same book of Proverbs 1546.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I guess because we covered, and I always forget the definitions, even though I could literally Google them every day and it wouldn't stay in my head. Like there's proverb, there's saying, there's metaphors. Like not all proverbs are metaphors, but like a lot of them are, right? So there's kind of a mixing of genres of this going on. But
okay, my guess, just to wrap on John Hayward, is that he
really hope you're going to wrap this.
my theory is that he collected them from the streets,
Okay.
and he wrote them all down and published them as like a record, and thank goodness he did, because imagine if all of those were lost to time.
But this is interesting, right? Because would they get lost, or would they persist verbally? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, the thing is things get replaced all the time, right? Language is always evolving. And there are some things that I'm pretty sure if they weren't written down, then they would just
get lost.
Yeah. Although, what's the situation with history repeating itself? Because maybe it will come back around.
Yeah, and I do think that, like, in some way, shape, or form, humans would like somebody hundreds of years later would do something that would go, oh, I can't see the wood for the tree. Do you know what I mean? Like the same sentiment would persist somehow.
Right. Just like it goes across languages.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So what are we saying about this one? Anything left unsaid currently that we want to say about can't see the wood for the trees?
I feel like this has a potential to be a double episoder. We're not going to do that. We might come back to it at a later date.
Yeah.
But I think we haven't touched on the idea of hyper focusing.
Oh,
which I think might be quite relevant. Alongside the idea of the like design thinking, divergent and convergent thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's like a slightly different angle again.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I do. There's so much to talk about. This is the thing.
Because the other thing we haven't talked about, I'm just going to quickly Google the definition of convergent thinking to make sure I've got it right. But the other thing we haven't talked about, which I think is crucial in this as well, is community and like other people and how that impacts the wood versus tree scene.
You know what else is important? Therapy.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is my thought.
It's like the main reason that you should go to therapy, people, is because you can't sometimes see the wood for the trees on your own.
Coaching. But it is, right? It's like somebody standing next to you, watching you, wandering through a wood and then staring directly at a tree and being stuck, and knowing that they can just kind of grab you metaphorically and move you back a few steps and be like, let's look now.
Yeah.
But the same that you would do in like when you help people with marketing strategy, right? Like people be struggling to see the wood for the trees as like where close. Of what to do, and you're like, hang on, let's
exactly. And that's why I love, like, I talk to people really, really intensely about everything that they're doing and what they're working on and how they want the business to go and all of these things. And then I go away into my little hole and I research it across the whole board to be able to get that full picture, to be able to see that whole wood.
Exactly.
Yeah, and without that, like that little me going into my little mouse hole, which is a place, isn't it? Is it on the Jurassic Coast or is it up north where you're from?
I can't say I've heard of it.
Okay, then it's definitely on the Jurassic Coast.
Yeah.
Only they probably say Mousel.
Little Mousel.
Anyway, sorry, that's a tangent that's not relevant. Yeah. So therapy, coaching, marketing, so yeah, 100%. I have to bury down to be able to see the whole thing, and it takes intentional action. You can't expect it to happen on its own, just like you can't expect to heal your relational trauma without a combination of therapy and good experiences.
Oh. Yeah. So I think you need other people, preferably experts, but also like people in your life, I think, that know you well can help you as well see the wood for the trees. I like this one actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I think our brains are joined because in my head I just had, there's no way we're throwing this out. This is too good.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Love
I think
it.
it's perfection. More we could probably say on it. Maybe I'll go and sit in my little wood now for after we finish recording because I need to get outside and maybe I don't know, see
Sit in
some
your
woods.
little wood. What wood?
There's a wood near me that I discovered recently that's just nice, and there's like a big tire swing that I just lie in sometimes and just stare up and look at the trees.
And we haven't gone because
We haven't gone. Actually, I don't know. Why haven't we gone?
What the hell?
You can go next time you're here. It's nice. It's only about a 10-minute walk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
A final thought before we
Yeah.
before we start rapping.
Yeah, rapping.
Please do not tell other people that they can't see the wood for the trees without talking to them about how they feel.
Ooh. Oh, okay. Yes. Is this a personal experience?
Well, I hadn't thought about it, but clearly I'm passionate about it. I think, it just comes into my like aggressive opinion that we shouldn't be assuming other people's thoughts and feelings, and we should actually be having communication and conversations with them, and have curiosity and interest.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
And I think
that's me processing.
And I think people are so ready to give advice and on things that they don't fully understand. And I think that this particular topic is used as I'm gonna tell you something that you can't see right now.
Yeah. And also I think sometimes like, oh, you're too hung up on the details, but sometimes somebody's hung up on the details either because that's something that like makes them feel more comfortable, or it's just like the way they operate, or because they've already looked at the wood and they're ready to look at the details. You're right. It's like, don't, in some cases, or like if you're going to try and guide somebody out to look at the wood, make sure that they're actually stood where you think they are.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay, yeah, yes, mic drop. There we go.
There we go.
That is all. C'est tout.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Bye.
Goodbye, friends.
Episode's over, but you don't want to miss the outro. Thanks for spiraling through another metaphor with us.
If you like this episode, tell your mates, leave us a review, or shout a saying at us online.
You can find me, Rach, over on YouTube at Rach Does YouTube.
And you can find me, George, watching Rach's videos over on YouTube, but also on Instagram at makinga.fuss.